You carry with you a lifetime of messages about physical strength, what it looks like, who has it, and what it's for. These deeply embedded ideas shape how you see athletes, judge bodies, and perceive your own capabilities. They feel like fundamental truths about physical differences between people. But much of what you've been taught about strength rests on bias and incomplete information. What does it really mean to be strong? For generations, the answer seems simple: explosive strength and the ability to lift heavy weights or sprint short distances. Male bodies became the measuring stick for strength itself. But what if that definition is incomplete? What if true strength lives in durability, flexibility, and the quiet capacity to endure? When you redefine the terms of strength, the familiar story about physical superiority shows itself as a carefully constructed myth. This exploration of strength builds on an equally flexible view of what it means to be a woman. The female body exemplifies change and adaptation. It cycles monthly, it can expand to accommodate a fetus, and it transitions through menopause. This inherent biological flexibility creates a wide and inclusive space for all women, including transgender women. Science itself now questions a rigid sex binary, acknowledging intersex people and the complex spectrum of human biology. This conversation seeks to recognize strength within a broad and diverse category of human experience. The strength gap you see between men and women today, culture manufactured it, and chromosomes didn't dictate it. To see how this happens, let's start at the beginning. Before puberty, there exists no inherent difference in the muscular strength, coordination, or physical ability of boys and girls. They're equals in the playground. The divergence begins with experience. From the earliest ages, boys and girls learn to move their bodies differently. Boys are encouraged to play rough, throw balls, kick things. They're asked to carry heavy groceries. These small tasks add up to what experts call tonnage, the total volume of weight lifted over a lifetime. This early physical experience primes their bodies, building muscular foundations that girls get systematically steered away from. Culture actively removes physical labor from girls' lives, creating strength deficits from childhood. This experience gap solidifies during puberty's critical window. Physical activity during these years fundamentally changes your musculoskeletal system for life. Here's where the system fails female athletes. Elite soccer academies typically start training at 13 for both sexes. Since girls enter puberty 2 years earlier, they begin physical preparation too late, often after growth spurts begin. Boys hit this developmental window perfectly, receiving lifelong benefits. Performance differences reflect opportunity disparities during non-repeatable biological moments. This explains why female athletes experience higher ACL tear rates. Their training has been less equitable. Our ancestors' bones tell a radically different story. A 2017 study examined Central European women's remains from 7,300 years ago, comparing them to modern women, including Cambridge University's championship rowers. The prehistoric women's arms measured up to 16% stronger. Daily survival built this strength, tilling soil, harvesting crops, grinding grain with heavy stones. For thousands of years, women's muscularity meant survival. Your great-great-great-grandmothers would have laughed at suggestions of inherent weakness. This myth emerged when culture began valuing delicacy over capability, engineering gaps in experience and calling them nature. So what kind of strength do female bodies actually possess? Let's explore the sophisticated systems that have been hiding in plain sight, starting with the most misunderstood of all. For centuries, society framed the menstrual cycle as messy, irrational, unreliable, a monthly problem making female bodies too complicated for science and too volatile for serious physical endeavors. But far from being a liability, this cycle functions as one of the body's most intelligent feedback systems. Think of it as a fifth vital sign, as valuable as pulse or blood pressure. Its variability signals real-time health reports. When the body faces significant stress, malnutrition, or illness, the cycle changes or pauses. The body makes brilliant executive decisions here, recognizing scarce resources and intelligently diverting energy from reproduction to survival. This adaptability defines resilience itself, sophisticated resource management that society mislabels as weakness. This system's home, the uterus, expresses this regenerative genius most clearly. Every month, for decades, it grows complex, blood-rich lining, then sheds it, healing completely without scars. Most body parts simply cannot replicate this tissue regeneration feat. For years, scientists dismissed menstrual fluid as waste. Then in 2007, researchers discovered biological treasure, mesenchymal stem cells with incredible regenerative potential. These multipurpose cells could help heal wounds, treat liver disease, and potentially fight Alzheimer's and diabetes. A stigmatized, hidden biological process holds keys to healing humanity. By dismissing female bodies, science has held itself back. This same efficiency principle extends throughout female metabolism. Culture demonized menstrual cycles, and it condemned female body fat with equal fervor. You've learned that carrying more fat represents aesthetic and health failure. Scientific reality tells a different story. This fat provides high-performance fuel and distinct physical strength. Your metabolism burns fat for energy during prolonged activity. Fat offers denser, more sustainable fuel than the fast-burning carbohydrates male bodies preferentially use. Male athletes might excel at short sprints, yet your body suits long-haul performance better. And here's what makes it even more remarkable. Subcutaneous fat on hips and thighs functions as more than fuel. It's an endocrine organ producing hormones that maintain bone density and support brain health. This healthier fat type differs significantly from visceral fat, often stored around organs in male pattern bodies. These systems, dismissed as problems, variable cycles and higher fat percentages, are core components of sophisticated engines built for unparalleled efficiency and resilience. But how is this resilience harnessed in real-life situations? It turns out that such an internal mastery of resource management translates into tangible, world-beating physical capabilities, especially when the body faces absolute limits. Think back to that metabolic efficiency we just explored. Now watch what happens when challenges stretch from hours into days. In the grueling arena of ultra-endurance sports, conventional rules of physical dominance break entirely. Here, in the heat of extreme persistence, female body design shows its true strengths. Pure biological engineering drives this advantage. The female body comes equipped with an engine primed to burn fat as sustainable fuel, complemented by muscles rich in fatigue-resistant, slow-twitch fibers. Together, these features make it naturally suited for the long haul. And the proof? It appears at finish lines of punishing races worldwide. Standard 26.2-mile marathons typically show about 10% performance gaps between top male and female finishers. As distances stretch into ultramarathon territory, the gap shrinks. At 100 miles, it nearly vanishes. Push beyond 195 miles, and women average faster times than men. This represents a predictable outcome of physiological design, and it played out dramatically in 2017 when ultrarunner Courtney Dauwalter won the Moab 240-mile endurance run through Utah's deserts. She finished 10 hours ahead of the first male competitor. The pattern extends beyond running into long-distance swimming, particularly in cold and extreme conditions where women regularly outperform men. Take Jamie Monahan, an ultramarathon swimmer who completed the 28.5-mile Manhattan Island Loop 31 times, including a record-setting non-stop 45-hour swim. Or consider California's Catalina Channel swim, that notoriously difficult open-water crossing. Analysis shows women average 53 minutes faster than men. In these arenas, victory comes through days of relentless forward motion, and that's where female body strengths truly shine. Now here's what makes this so fascinating. This incredible endurance capacity represents an evolutionary blueprint written into the biology of the female body by history's most demanding endurance event, creating and sustaining new life. Think about it physiologically. Full-term pregnancies' sustained metabolic demands require an extra 80,000 calories, pushing energy expenditure to 2.2 times resting rate for months on end. This approaches the 2.5 times limit that scientists identify as the absolute ceiling for long-term human endurance. The same limit they observe in athletes competing in events like the Tour de France. And breastfeeding? The energy expenditure runs even higher. For hundreds of thousands of years, female bodies underwent selection for something specific. withstanding extreme long-term physical stress and managing energy with unparalleled efficiency. Ancestors persisted when every system reached breaking point. Today's sporting events demonstrate these ancient adaptations. The female body is suited for long, arduous, life-giving marathons. This deep, internal resilience extends far beyond muscles and metabolism, reaching into survival's very core. Beyond the endurance advantages we've explored, female bodies possess another remarkable strength that operates quietly at the cellular level. Your immune system functions as an internal fortress, working to maintain your health. A primary source of this strength is genetic. Having two X chromosomes, as is typical for many female bodies, provides genetic advantages over the typical male XY combination. Think of accessing two different libraries of immune-related information, one from each parent. This genetic diversity lets the body produce wider, more adaptable immune cell ranges. So, when viruses or bacteria invade, the system has more tools for recognizing and neutralizing threats. This creates a flexible defense network from the beginning. The B cells, specialized fighters creating targeted antibodies, work more effectively, learning to fight infections efficiently and retaining longer memories of past invaders. These bodies mount stronger, more lasting vaccine responses. Hormones amplify this genetic blueprint. The female hormonal environment actively stimulates and strengthens immune responses to pathogens. Testosterone, in contrast, suppresses immunity. This creates fundamental divergences in how male and female bodies handle illness. Evolutionary theory suggests an intentional trade-off. The hormone-driving male reproductive advantage directly costs immune system strength. Male bodies divert resources toward competition and reproduction, leaving defenses compromised. This biological design, built for sustaining life long-term, prioritizes resilience. Global health statistics show this immunity gap's real-world consequences starkly. Female bodies achieve higher survival rates in most infectious diseases. During the COVID-19 pandemic, men consistently experienced higher severe illness and death rates, a pattern repeated with countless viruses. There are also lower risks of dying from most cancers. This reflects a biological reality beyond lifestyle or behavior. The result is a body that defends itself better. Now we reach an interesting paradox. This powerful system carries specific vulnerability. The same hypervigilant immune response, protecting against external threats, sometimes turns inward. Women account for nearly 80% of autoimmune diseases, conditions where defenses mistakenly attack healthy tissue. Having an immune system on constant high alert creates this trade-off. The life-saving fortress requires delicate balance. This reality highlights the complexity of bodies built to endure and survive. But where others might see these trade-offs and vulnerabilities, a deeper look reveals interconnected systems optimized for life's marathon. This capacity for survival represents the ultimate measure of strength, and it leads us to the final female advantage: longevity. Across nearly every culture and historical period for which records exist, women live longer than men. This pattern reflects a fundamental biological regularity, pointing to deep-seated resilience. This extended lifespan goes beyond passive waiting after reproductive years end. Evolutionary biology suggests it serves as an active, vital strength. The grandmother hypothesis explains how postmenopausal women provided critical survival advantages to early human communities. By gathering food, offering childcare, and acting as living libraries of knowledge, they ensured their children's and grandchildren's flourishing, directly contributing to their genetic line's success. Longevity expresses enduring value and strength. Yet modern culture creates systems that actively undermine this innate durability. Consider osteoporosis in older women. You've been told this represents an inevitable consequence of aging, a natural decline into frailty. The reality, it's largely preventable, resulting directly from a lifetime of discouragement from activities that build and maintain strong bones. Muscle strength links directly to bone health, and heavy, weight-bearing exercise builds both most effectively. For generations, women were steered away from physical labor, told it was unladylike or dangerous. This cultural myth of female delicacy created real physical vulnerability, engineering weakness in bodies otherwise built for long, healthy lives. Supporting this physical segregation stands a foundational myth about our past, the story of man the hunter. You've learned that societies are built on strict labor divisions, with men as strong, risk-taking providers and women as passive, domestic gatherers. Scientific evidence collapses this narrative. Archaeologists unearthed remains of high-ranking female Viking warriors buried with full weapon sets. They discovered up to half of early America's big game hunters were women. Our ancestors valued capability pragmatically. They couldn't afford sidelining half their population's talent based on gender. The idea that your body lacks strength, risk-taking ability, and leadership capacity, a relatively recent invention contradicting longer, more equitable human history. Physical culture's future may look more like our distant past. Today's Dutch sport korfbal provides a tangible model. Mixed-gender teams play at competition's highest levels. Men and women train together, strategize together, and compete as court equals. Rules neutralize size advantages, making success depend on skill, speed, and teamwork. This creates fast-paced, dynamic games with impacts extending beyond courts. Male players competing alongside women report deeper, natural respect for them as peer athletes. Stereotypes creating strength gaps cannot survive environments of daily, collaborative effort. This brings us to the ultimate lesson. Human potential flourishes when we create systems where all bodies contribute their unique strengths. The future involves recognizing that we achieve the greatest strength by working together, each bringing distinct capabilities to collective success. From metabolic efficiency and immune superiority to longevity itself, female bodies possess remarkable adaptations that complement rather than compete with male strengths.